What's up, what's up, what's up, world? It is Icky Timey, and I'm here with you today on our Tuesday Tea Time. I'm so glad to see some of you on already. I want to say what's up to our guy, Ponito. What's up, man? I hope you got my picture of you that I pulled out of the archives today, bro. I pulled it way back. We both had black hair back then. You look like a little baby Buddha. My guy, Matthew Belonio, shout out to you too as well. And to all of you guys, welcome on to our Tuesday Tea Time. I'm excited about who we get to talk with today. He's full of life. He's got some experiences. But before we do that, I just kind of want to give you a head up. Next week, I promised all of you a few weeks ago when I had these wonderful people on here. So we're going to talk to some of our amazing individuals in the African-American community who are doing some fantastic stuff. A professor, a teacher, and a pastor. And we're going to talk about life, really. And they're going to help fill us in on some of the sensitive questions that you may be wondering, but you haven't had anyone to help you process that or cross that bridge of how to understand some of these issues that our brothers and sisters in the Black community are moving through, right? Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing next week. Don't miss out. But this week, I'm hanging out with the great Cole Marcus. My dude is just coming into his adulthood life of 21. He's been in the limelight for the majority of his life. He's been playing the drums long before most of us could even speak correct English. And he's done phenomenal things in his youth days. But he's coming into his own now, and he's becoming an adult. He's making some great decisions. He's looking to the future. He's part of the entertainment industry. And so I'm really excited to hear from him today. So I'm going to start yapping on, my friends, and let's get to it. Right. There is the man. What is up, Cole?
What's poppin'? How's it going?
Man, we're solid, bro. It's so good to see you on here.
Good stuff. It's good to see you, man.
You know, we had a couple hiccups just before we got on, and it was nice to see how you know what the Spirit does. He just lines you up just the way you need to be lined up. You know what I mean?
Nice and tight. Yeah. I'm really, really glad that worked itself out. I was freaking out so hard.
It's God's way of reminding us it's about Him and not about us, right?
That's right. That's right. And you bet I was saying a couple prayers.
Welcome on, everybody. If you are just catching on with us, we're just starting off our journey this afternoon with Cole Marcus. He is a phenomenal young cat who's been actually in the entertainment industry for a long time. In fact, the majority of his life, which is a long time. And so he's going to talk to us about all of his cool engagements, things that he's done, and what he's looking forward to God doing in his future. Cole, my man, as we get rocking here, what are you drinking today, bro?
Right now, I got a thermos full of some nice honey tea,
Ooh.
and yeah, it's just some nice honey breakfast tea, and I'm really enjoying it right now. It's really smooth.
Is it actual honey? Do you have actual honey in there?
Yeah, I do. It's just kind of like a breakfast tea. It's one of my favorite ones, and just like I really don't know like the full things on it, but all I can say is that's good.
Leave it to entertainers to have breakfast tea at 4 p.m. in the afternoon.
Hey, I mean, there's no judging at this point, man.
Yeah.
Cleanse your throat too. It feels really nice.
No judgment here, man. No judgment. So, listen, we're going to get to some of these questions and get rocking here, but I did want to ask, if people know you, most of them will know that you rock on the drums, bro. You've been gifted here in this particular area. But side question, do you actually sing as well?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. I sing. I say I'm blessed and cursed with a perfect pitch. It's like good news is like you can always tell when you're out of key. The bad news is you can tell when you're out of tune. You know, so it's like but yeah, I sing. I taught myself how to play piano when I was 7. I'm just starting to pick up a bunch of stringed instruments right now. It's really fun. But
bro, I don't think
yeah.
I was walking at 7. 7? Dang. Taught yourself the piano, huh? The keys.
Yes, sir. Yes,
okay,
sir.
so where does this music flow from? I mean, the saying is, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So can you fill us in a little bit? Where does this music history come from?
Oh, that's the truth. Well, both of my parents are session musicians, or at least they were, and my mom was a vocalist and songwriter, and my dad was a songwriter, and he was also a drummer.
Yes.
Professionally for decades. And so I was just kind of raised in that environment. I'm pretty sure they wanted me to become a lawyer or something, but it's like, hey, I mean, my dad's my biggest role model, and seeing him playing drums and stuff like that, I just automatically took in his footsteps, and it played out pretty good. And just as far as music goes in general, I've always been inspired, and writing music has been very easy for me just in general. So
bro, your dad is good people's, man. So
yeah.
I don't know if you've ever heard, but your dad and I used to ball together.
No way.
Yeah,
for real?
Your dad played ball back in the day, man. He might still.
He's still balling, man. He's playing at least 3 or 4 days a week, or at least he was until COVID hit.
Yeah. That's my guy, man. We used to play.
Oh, that's tight, man.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's weird because, I'm kind of that bridge for you. So there you go. I hung out with your dad. Now I'm hanging out with you. You're welcome,
awesome.
World.
That's great, man. I love that.
How old are you now?
I'm 21. I'll be 22 in September. So, yeah.
Welcome to adulthood, man.
Man, it's just beginning, and I feel like I'm as old as an oak tree at the same time. I don't know, man. It's been going for a minute, but I'm still young. So,
man.
Yeah.
So,
crazy.
you were 20. You're 21. You're going to be 22 in September. And where did you grow up? You grew up here in the South Bay area, didn't you? You're a local.
I grew up in the South Bay. Yeah. I grew up all around. Just in the South Bay in general. I was raised primarily in Long Beach, but now I reside in the Torrance area.
Yeah.
So I love it over here, man.
Okay. So you're a local SoCaler. For those of you watching along from the SoCal area, we're hanging out with Cole Marcus, a native Southern California Conference constituent member right here doing some awesome things. So when did you actually start playing music? And was it the drums? Was that your first? Was that it?
Drums are my primary instrument. Although I can play others, I taught myself how to play drums The earliest footage that my dad has, I was 10 months old.
Dang.
So yeah. So I mean, talk about not being able to walk yet. But it was literally just kind of a, I mean, I'm very glad to say I'm able to do something that's my favorite hobby as a profession.
Yeah.
I'm very thankful for that. But yeah, I started playing drums when I was 10 months old, and music just kind of flowed out of that. So yeah.
Cool. You said that you grew up in Long Beach, and it lit up. We've got a few people representing Long Beach right now.
Really?
Yeah, deep love for Long Beach. I'm
That's
also
what's up, man.
a former Long Beach native, man. That's my my resident, my home, bro. So yeah, we got
Shoot.
deep love for it.
Yeah, I was a Signal Hill boy.
Signal Hill.
Yeah,
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
that's great.
If you're giving some love to Long Beach, go ahead and shout out into our comments where in the LB you're from or where you like to ride or die. LB's a rocking spot. I'm down from the Pike area myself, so.
The Pikes, what's up?
Yeah.
Long Beach Grand Prix every year. It's one of my favorite things to attend, man. I love it. I love it.
Funny enough, I saw some photos of you doing something near that area right there, and the building that I lived in is actually right behind all of your pictures.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, the Aqua building.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that's where we lived for like
crazy.
like 8 years, man. We were there a long time.
Oh man, that's crazy. You know, I love it down there. It's definitely old stomping grounds for me.
Somebody said they're sitting in my apartment right now, Radiate Kind. I've got some I've got some amazing people who are living there right now. Some good friends, and man, they're part of my community.
That's
okay,
awesome,
bro. So you were about 10 months old when you started playing, and your real affinity there was for drums, or at least you picked it up early enough. When was the first actual, what was the first engagement where you actually hit the scene? Because for most people, it would be right around 17, 18, but your story is quite different. Can you tell us about that first engagement?
The first engagement was in church. And I mean, I'm just saying, first things first, started out right. But really where things took off, I got kind of, I guess you could say scouted out. It was just a gradual thing where I got invited to a few things from a couple of drum companies after a drum clinic with, a drummer named Dave Weckel. I was 3 years old and I literally just ran up to him, introduced myself because I kind of escaped my parents and introduced myself to him. I thought I knew him because I always used to watch his instructional videos. And, the guy let me play his kit for a while, and then his sponsors invited me to a bunch of, anyways, A and B, so on and so forth. I ended up on a TV show called America's Most Talented Kid, and that I ended up winning my age category in that TV show. I believe I went through 2 seasons of it too, and
wow.
and it's just amazing the doors that God opened after that. Like literally from getting from all the way here, humble roots to literally like there at the age of 4 was insane. And so I did a bunch of television stuff after that. I got into the acting industry because of that. And
how old were you in that first event?
I was 4.
4.
So, so I was a little guy. You know me about then.
Absolutely, bro.
Yeah.
I've been following you a long time, man.
It's been going for a minute, man. But it's been it's been a wild ride for sure. And just I'm glad to say I haven't stopped working since. It's been great.
I just popped up a picture there, Cole. It's going to be about, a little bit delayed, so keep your eye on the screen when it pops up. You probably didn't realize that I had these pictures, but because I've been following you for so long, I may have taken some photos along the way.
Should I be scared?
I don't know. Should you? This is actually backstage. You were at a taping of something here. Can you tell us about this picture?
Well, I can't see the picture.
Oh, you can't see it yet?
Oh, no. But it's, no. Can you maybe describe to me what the picture looks like? I can probably tell you about it.
I know what the picture's of. I I can absolutely describe it to you.
Why don't you fill me in? Maybe I can give you a story on it.
You'll see it coming up soon here. But it was, you were a featured guest over at the Wayne Brady Show. I don't know if you remember that. And you took a picture with Hall & Oates.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was insane. Yeah. So the Wayne Brady shows was actually one of the shows that I ended up on after that first show, America's Most Talented Kid. And yeah, Hall and Oates were on the same episode that I was, and man, I mean, just remembering from I was 5 at that point.
Yeah.
But just remembering them from even at that tender age, they're just so nice.
Did you?
Their whole band was really good too.
Did you know who that was?
No.
No, yeah, I was like, did you even know?
I knew their music, but I didn't.
Right.
I still didn't know who they were. I mean, if that makes any sense. But I mean, of course, I was very well educated after the fact.
I've got another picture of you, and here you're 5 as well. You're signing autographs with some drum legends sitting next to you there. Alan White, Simon Phillips, and Junior Robinson. Yeah.
Yeah. So J.R. Robinson is literally he's probably one of the most recorded drummers in all of history. Yeah. Actually, I believe he is the most recorded drummer in history now. Sorry about that. I believe he is the most recorded drummer in history. Played with Shaka Khan, a bunch of others, and Alan White for the band Yes, Simon Phillips for Toto, and many others. And just that picture still blows my mind to this day because those guys are genuinely my friends. They're people who not only that I looked up to, but also people that I can have a legit conversation with for hours. And
it's awesome.
It's crazy. It's like
my friends are my 2 children and my wife, Cole.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. But I'm thankful for those experiences.
That's pretty cool, bro. So you have been behind or in front of the camera now. And you've also played live gigs for good-sized audiences. Which of those 2 is more frightening to you?
Oh, I hate playing. Well, it's a good question. Actually, I better bite my tongue on this because, okay, I would much rather play in front of 50,000 people than instead of one guy who's like, hey, if you screw up, it's like so I have no problem. Playing drums, and that is, I have no problem playing in front of people or in front of a camera. When it comes to like acting and stuff like that, I'll admit I get kind of nervous sometimes if I'm behind the camera and there's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, of course.
And they're like, "You gotta get this right. We got one take. Ready, set, go." It's like, man, I got some traumatizing experiences with that as a kid, but but yeah, no. I'd say I probably vibe with playing in front of people a little bit more than being in front of a camera, just because you get to interact, you get to see people's facial expressions. And for me, the more people, the merrier, the more energy I get to throw at it. Oh. And it's literally, it's like I literally pray every time before I get on stage. It's like, God, how can I be a light in this situation where instead of it being like, here, look at me, I'm doing this, it's like I want it to be weird experiencing this together.
Yeah.
So for me, I find it a lot more engaging when I'm playing in front of people.
No, listen, the energy in a live session of anything is it's unmatchable, really. When you're behind the camera or when you're in front of the camera, you've got just a really small crew around and you feel like they're very critical, like because the time, this space is very, like they're there for a particular reason. But like when you're in that live session, whether it's speaking or preaching or music, people are actually on the journey with you. So it's like an amazing feeling, man. It's a great little
absolutely.
You got to fake that when you're in front of the camera. You got to pretend like people are with you at home, but you don't know. They could.
Well, I guess, yeah. I think for me though, it's always a joy. Every time I get behind the drums, it's just like I get to let loose a little bit. It's literally therapy for me. Awesome. So the best part is enjoying myself, but if people happen to be there too, it just makes it a little bit more sweeter. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Yeah.
My guy and fellow drummer Casey Hohensee says, "What's up, Cole? Long time no see, bro."
Dude, yeah. Casey, oh my gosh, man.
Yo, that guy's that's some good people, right?
Oh no, I love Casey. It's been years, man. Oh my gosh.
He was just on a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about campus ministry and ministry life, and we didn't get to dive into his actual drum work, and his portfolio, because he's a phenomenal.
He's good.
Phenomenal percussionist.
Oh, he's really good. Yeah.
I taught him everything he knows, bro. I hate
I know you did. I know you did. Taught me everything I know too.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for making that known to people. People need to know, man. I'm important.
You are important.
Okay. So this has been your journey. Tell me, at least in the acting and filming, TV, what has been your favorite project to date that you've been on, that you've experienced?
Oh, it's hard to narrow it down just to one.
I know it's true.
I mean, no, I mean that in the, in the least arrogant way possible.
Yeah.
But honestly, I mean, God's blessed me with a lot of great things so far. You know what? I'd have to say, out of the amount of accomplishments as much as I enjoy playing live, I think filming I Can Only Imagine was probably my favorite accomplishment so far.
That was a fantastic movie.
It turned out so good. I'm so thankful to say I was a part of that.
Yeah. Through that process, can you tell us a little bit about that process? I feel like we celebrate successful people or people that have done things in a successful kind of way, but we don't necessarily celebrate so much the journey.
Yeah.
And all the things that you've had to do, the anxiety, the decisions you've had to make. So tell us a little bit about how you got to that place with I Can Only Imagine.
Well, it starts as far back as, I can remember, like I can start back to when I was a little kid. I think about, like, when I was a little kid, we were fairly well off, and then when the market crashed, unfortunately, we were a pretty big part of that, my family, and so we literally went from way up here to like rock bottom, like food stamps, rock bottom, like 110%.
Ooh, man, you're preaching to somebody right now. I need to just pause on that for a second.
Well, no, but yeah, absolutely. And for me, it's like living in ritzy little gated community in Signal Hill. Like going from that to sleeping on a leaky air mattress in my grandma's, spare bedroom.
Yes.
Literally just like that. That'll do something to you. And I was around between 10 and 13 at that time. And I can just remember, like, praying nightly, still doing a lot of acting stuff, mind you, or at least going out for it.
Yeah.
And I remember praying nightly. It's like, God, let me get into film. It's like, let me be in a movie. And then eventually one day my prayer changed to, don't let it be about me. Let me get in a film that represents you well, that you can use me to be a good light in that. And then eventually over time, I kind of forgot about it. I was just like, all right, you know what, forget it. And I was about ready to quit acting. I was about maybe 17. I think I was 17. I wasn't even 18 yet. And I got offered a role for, we worked our ways back up. My family's doing great now. But I got offered a role for a certain movie, like, it wasn't an audition type.
Wow,
it was literally just
offered.
Show up, it's yours. And I was like, whoa. And my manager was like, yeah, my manager was like, dude, this is like you get a one shot at this, and like you have to be like Tom Hanks to like pull this stuff off. Right. And I'm like, all right, well, hand it over. And I looked at the script, Dickie, and I didn't like it. It had so many things, it's like I'm a youth leader, I'm a youth pastor, whatever you want to call it. And it's like, I wouldn't want my kids to see that. I wouldn't want my kids when I'm older to see that. Like my actual kids, I wouldn't want them to see that.
Right.
Now I wouldn't want any kids that I don't know to see, like any of this stuff of me, like abusing substances. Even if it is portrayed in a movie, you're still leaving an impact.
Yeah.
So I turned it down in a heartbeat. My manager
That's
got
gotta
really
have
mad.
been heartbreaking a little bit.
Oh my gosh, it was gut wrenching. I was like, but you know what? I had faith, because I believe I was so over it that I kind of already had enough faith. I'm like, God, if you really want me to be here, you're just going to work it out. Yeah. Literally, like that same week, I got a call for I Can Only Imagine. And they're like, hey, we're looking for a kind-hearted 18-year-old homeschooled Christian drummer. Are you that guy? I'm like, man, if I don't get this, I quit.
Yeah.
And God just he parted the Red Sea and opened up the gate for that, and it was a straight shot from there on. It was beautiful.
Man, if that role wasn't written exactly for you, right? God knows what's up. God knows. So if you're watching along, I just want you to consider the struggle you're going through right now, and maybe the dreams that you had, and just I want you to know and recognize that God is doing great things in your life. So don't give up. Don't give up. This ain't the time. He's still got time. You may be in a season where it's funky, but remember, it's just a season. A new season's coming along. I love, Cole, what you put out here, because so often we're like, oh yeah, that's the kid. He's been playing drums and now he's an adult. He's in a movie. But they didn't see like some of the stuff you've had to go through, right? Like the market crashing, and then you guys having to leave the nice place, and you wanting to keep connected to God through this whole thing. And having to make this gut-wrenching like decision. I know nothing of how hard that could be. However, I know there are times in my life when somebody calls and invites and says, Icky, would you come speak at this event, dot, dot, dot. And I think to myself, if I don't go this time, no one is ever going to invite me again.
Ever again. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Never again. Like,
Absolutely.
I'm washed up. It's over. And so I could only imagine if somebody came to you, you know, and gave you this role and said, look, this is for you. And the decision you had to make, bro, that took some big guts.
Well, you know what, man? Really, look, my whole life motto has honestly been every setback is a setup for a comeback. That's the way that God works. I try to live off of the Matthew 6:33 and 34 lifestyle, which is literally seek first, not second, not third. Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. And in his righteousness, through his righteousness, all of these things will be added to you. You know, Jesus is talking about the physical things in that nature. But at the same time, I look at it and I go, it's beyond the physical, because the physical doesn't mean anything. It's carnal. It'll only last 10 seconds. He's literally talking about the spiritual decisions, the guidance, that gut feeling that we're talking about. God will give you that when you seek him first and put him in control. And that's literally what I did. And he always comes through.
Boom. If I had a mic, I'd drop it right now. I probably wouldn't, because I wouldn't want to break it, but you know.
I wouldn't want you to either.
I got this little broken remote already. I'm gonna just drop it there for you, bro. Fantastic, fantastic work. No, that speaks truth. You've talked a little bit about some of the struggles you've had to deal with. Have you actually ever had to deal with any challenges within the industry where, besides that was a great example of the movie, but have you ever had to be on cast or on a filming and be like, man, this is really rubbing my ethics wrong, something about this just isn't quite right?
Oh, all the time. I mean, that's kind of why I was so frustrated with the industry in general. It's like I had to turn down so many roles. Mind you, that one role was just one example of me turning down hundreds over the years. Because it's like literally, it's like what kind of imprint do you want to leave? Literally, whatever is recorded, they're going to see you as being that person. It's going to be stuck on recording forever. And it's like, I only want the good stuff.
Yeah.
It's
one day you have to explain that to your children.
yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, well, you did that in that movie. It's like
that was pre-saved,
that was a movie.
Daddy.
It's like yeah, exactly. But there was no such thing as a pre-saved me. It's like
always say, Daddy, I just made some bad issues.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? Through my own personal life, I've never, I wouldn't say I haven't had issues with them, but I've never really been part of the party scene. I never took part in any substances. And it's like just all throughout, like the high school experience and to where I'm now in college age. It's like, it's interesting, and I'll admit it's a little foreign to some certain people that I know, where it's like, I don't take part with that stuff. It's so, I understand how momentary pleasures can want to hoist you away, but it's like for me, it's like all I need is Jesus. Honestly,
come on.
Honestly, that right there is enough to give me joy, to look out the window and say, I am thankful to be alive. I can take a deep breath and know everything's going to be in control, even if I don't have the outcome yet.
Yeah. You can take all this world. Yeah, boy. Yeah, give me Jesus.
Man, that's what's up.
What about have you had any? So since we've talked about some negative ones, have you had any positive experiences that was obvious, like God was in this moment, and He was affirming you through this process, apart from the one that we talked about just recently here? Anything else, that stuck out to you where you're like, oh man, God, thanks for getting my back here? Positive experience from someone?
Well, you know what? It's one of those things that's like, I could point out one big thing, but I'm literally going to look at it in a day-to-day standpoint, because it kind of goes back to the 34, Matthew 6:33. The 34 part of it is, don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow has its own problems. Be content in today and know that God's got, so for me, it's literally every day when I start off myself right, I just go, God, you're in control. I don't know what's going to happen right here. There is always some little thing that happens that just puts a little kick in my step, and I'm like, oh, that's great. There have been plenty of times where it's like, I've gotten a phone call for like, hey man, we need you for this tour. Like when I was 16, they're like, we need you for this tour with a certain pop star, and it was like, that was just so cool, being 16 and being like, I get to be on tour now. That's awesome. That's so awesome. But just little things like it's always in the little things. If you find joy, if you find content, I think the main answer that I'm looking for here is once you learn how to love yourself. I look at that verse where it says in the Bible to love your neighbor as much as you love yourself, and it's like love your enemy as much as you love yourself. But if you don't love yourself, how can you love your neighbor?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the biggest question.
Right.
For me, the goal has been finding how to love myself. How can I love the trials that I'm in?
There you go.
So that I can enjoy where I'm at today and have a positive outlook on whatever comes my way. So for me, finding how to love myself on a day-to-day basis and how I can make myself a better person, that's what brings me joy.
That's power. That's power. Way to speak to that. Because so often we are we're solution driven, we're goal driven, and so if we have a positive goal, we feel just ecstatic about ourselves. But if you had a bad day, if you slipped, if you made a mistake, if people aren't affirming you the way you want to feel, man, it really drops us into a slump, and we have a difficult time celebrating or loving ourselves. I believe that's why Jesus said the new command is this: to love one another as I have loved you, because we have a difficult time loving ourselves. If we're honest, right? We don't know how to love ourselves correctly. And so that's why God is like, look, just check this. The way I love you, the way I pour myself out for you, the way I die and sacrifice for you,
continuous,
gives you value.
That's right.
When you experience that, I want you to give that experience to others, man. Okay, Cole. Absolutely. I didn't know we were going to have church today, man. Thanks for bringing it.
Of course we're going to have church today, man. That's what I need. That's what I always need.
Man, me too. So let's do this. We're going to play a game. So all of you are watching along. This is our weekly game. We're going to play Love One, Leave One. Love One, Leave One. Get your keypads ready. Get ready to go. Your keyboards. And give us some cool answers here. Okay, Cole. So the first game we're going to play is called Love One, Leave One. And this is how it works. I'm going to give you two options. You've got to indicate to me either you're going to keep this one or indicate to me this is the one that goes. But you're going to choose one of the two. Whichever one you choose to stay gets to be a part of your life consistently for the rest of your life. The other one disappears permanently from the world around us, from history, from art, from whatever it is, and no one can experience it ever again.
Ooh, all right.
All right, are you ready for this, my bro?
I was born ready, man.
Okay, cool. If you are already out there, I am ready. So let's get Cole on this thing. You got 1.5 minutes, my bro, to get through these, all right? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Okay. Beatles or Ariana Grande?
Beatles.
Sweet desserts or savory entrees?
Savory entrees.
All right. Beach time or mountain snow activity?
Beach time.
Oh, man, you are decisive. Pizza or veggie burger?
Pizza.
IndyCar or Formula One?
Formula One.
Oh, Haystacks or Big Franks?
Haystacks.
Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Running super fast or being able to float in the air?
Oh, that one's obvious. I want to float, man.
Wait,
do I have control how I float?
What's that?
I have control over how I float?
No, yeah, you can, but you only float speed. But you can float wherever you want.
Okay, I'd rather run then. I'd rather run.
Yamaha, Kawasaki?
Yamaha. I've got one.
To be surprised or to surprise?
Surprise.
All right. Hawaii or Disneyland?
Hawaii.
Shorts or formal pants?
Formal pants.
Okay. Sandals or tennis shoes?
Tennis shoes.
Very good. You beat the time, Cole. You're the first to ever beat the time, man. Congratulations.
Let's go. I know what I want, man.
Dude, you're on fire, man. That's good, bro. That's good. I don't think I've had anyone actually finish so quickly. I had to make up some there at the end just to keep you rocking. Good job.
That's tight, man.
Good job. Good job. Don D's, I love to my guy Donovan, who's giving some shout outs to his pieces. He wants Hawaii and shorts and surprises. I hope you guys were able to drop yours in there as well. Okay, let's talk about faith, shall we?
Let's go.
Okay. How important is faith to you in your everyday life?
Well, it's everything. I mean, literally, it's everything that I just kind of mentioned. Based off of that one scripture alone with Matthew 6:33, if you start your morning off right in the Word of God, that starts in prayer, in meditation, in worship. Mind you, that's important too. Literally, it's like I'll set aside time. I'll wake up early if I have to set aside time with God, and once I do, it just puts me in the right mindset. And spiritually, it keeps me happy with the decisions that I'm making, or better yet, the decisions that God suggests. And
Nice.
I'd say it just starts with that. I have a very strong relationship with God, and I acclaim it all to establishing every day strong.
Yes, yes. Uh, do you have a faith community that you partake of on a regular basis that helps you stay focused?
I've got many actually. Yeah, for me, part of work is actually I play at multiple different churches in the local area, and it's just great to be part of so many different churches that aren't necessarily just Sabbath keeping, but of course I got my own my own church at South Bay Seventh Day Adventist Church, and over there I'm a youth leader. I absolutely love it over there. Man, I can't wait to get back to Friday nights with my kids,
You
man.
gather
Ooh,
up.
I miss it. But yeah, no, of course I got my communities. I've also got some small prayer groups that I have come together,
It's
and
awesome.
we'll do Bible studies together. It's just good, man.
Dude, when
Uh,
you fill your time with that kind of good, valuable spiritual food, you're not hungry for the cheap stuff. You're not hungry for
that's
the
right.
junk food.
That's
I know
right.
that you're also you've been on the Imagine LA community as well, and
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
a good space. I've caught up with you there a couple times now, but it's
I
it's a
thought
great
I
space.
saw you there. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Shout out to
Oh,
my
that's great.
Imagine LA community, doing good things out there. Keep it up, keep it up.
Let's
So,
go.
being a child star, I hate to say that because I know
That's all right.
it's got certain connotations when it comes with it, but you
It's
get what I'm
what it
saying.
is. Yeah.
Being a bit of an iconic individual as a child creates a bit of an identity crisis when we transition into adulthood. You're right at that place now. You've
Oh
you've
yeah.
leaped into adulthood here. How have you dealt with that? One and two, what what are your dreams for Cole moving forward?
Okay, I'll have to remember those two questions. Well, for me, it's I just kind of I think I'm a pretty artistic person to begin with, in general. So for me, it's literally it kind of goes back to the thing I said earlier of learning how to love yourself. And for me, that was the hardest thing because like I mean, I was homeschooled growing up just because of how much work I had to do as a kid.
Yep.
But I still went through the same high school experiences that a lot of kids face. And for me, it just kind of staying on the straight and narrow during that. It really did kind of rattle me at times. I remember coming home once, like after like a youth group thing, and I just kind of like went to my mom, like, "Hey, am I too happy?" And it was a legit question. It was a legit
That's
question, and
awesome.
yeah. But I remember saying that, and I was like, that was a pretty stupid question, and I was like, so why am I asking it? And then that was just kind of like, dude, that's where you got to put on the armor of God. Proverbs 27:17 says, "Iron sharpens iron, so one
Right.
man will sharpen another." And literally, you need to surround yourself with iron sharpeners. And if the roots are poisonous, cut the roots off. And for me, that's literally what it came to. Before, I can only imagine when I was 17. The whole age of 17 was pretty much just a takeoff year where I just didn't. I really didn't talk to anybody, and I kind of just I escaped as much as I possibly could to kind
Yeah.
of figure out what I enjoyed about myself and what I didn't like.
Good.
And riding my motorcycle has been one of my favorite things ever since. It's very peaceful. For me, it helps me spiritually realign. Same thing goes for drumming. I run a lot. And just finding ways to kind of regroup a little bit
Yeah.
after being in either groups of people or maybe having any negativity on any level, and just regrouping and saying, all right, God, you're in control. This has
And in
nothing to
that
do.
in that self analysis, what would you describe your personality to be? Do you feel like you're an extrovert? Are you an introvert? How would you
I'm the best.
describe yourself?
I'm literally both of those, man.
Yeah.
I really enjoy my alone time when I get to recharge, put on some music that I really like to listen to, curl up, read my Bible a little bit, or just, at least an interesting book, and just find a way to kind of regroup and be by myself. But at the same time, I love being around people, and I love being hopefully being a good influence, and spending time with others and hopefully encouraging others. And
Right.
and so I love both of those, but I feel like I need to have equal dosages of both of those.
Mm.
One thing I've realized very recently is just like I really don't like introducing myself to people. I mean, and this is proof here. I can carry a
Dude,
conversation just fine,
right.
but it's like when it comes to oh, you need to introduce yourself to that business executive. I'm like, can't you introduce them to me? Like, I don't want to, because I don't want to ever be the guy that's like, hi, nice to meet you. I'm so it's like who cares?
Right.
So that's something interesting that I've kind of been looking into lately, and like how can I strengthen that? But yeah, I'd say I need a little bit of both.
Hey, all good. So
And,
Sarah just dropped a comment for us. Sarah Grover, that's my girl, Sarah. She is asking a question. I'll post it back up there for everyone to see. So with many students being stuck at home, essentially homeschool, what are tips you would suggest for people to help keep the joy and positivity going while they're in this home situation? I think Sarah, because Sarah doesn't have any kids, but let me tell you, Cole, let me tell you something. I got kids.
Oh, are they rambunctious?
Oh, they got me, man. And I need
yeah?
Jesus in my life. I realized I have not fully given myself to Jesus once I had children here in this isolation time because the devil is speaking to my flesh, and I wanna just every day, like, Lord, give me more patience, please. So what a fantastic question from Sarah. What are some tips that you'd suggest to help people keep their joy and positivity going while having to do more homeschooling for everyone?
Well, like I said, for me, it goes into I found activities. Outlets, if you will. Drumming is already one of them. Writing music is one of them, but that's also work for me. I started riding a motorcycle. That helps for me personally. Other people oppose. That's fine. Running has helped a lot for me. And then just outside of those few things as kind of like an outlet, an exercise outlet, or just somewhere to think, find things that make you, that first of all, that make you happy, but most of all, draw you closer to Christ and make you feel whole in that sense.
That's a good word.
For me, that's in listening to a lot of uplifting music. That's for me personally, I'm a music addict, and for me, just listening to something that just draws me close to God, I'm like, that's right where I need to be right now.
Right.
And just finding projects. Something that really helps for me, which a lot of I'm not sure if anyone can see it, but I painted my whole wall with chalk paint. And for me, I just write down daily little things of like, this is what you need to accomplish today. And once I'm done with that, it's like, now what do you get to do? You get to relax and enjoy. So that way it's not just all Netflix, It's like you get to earn it.
Right.
Yeah,
I like how driven you are, bro. I like how organized you're thinking about your stuff. That's fantastic. That's good. And those are some great suggestions. If you're at home with your children, find creative things for them to do. Get them out, get them moving, give them stuff that'll like get their endorphins pumping. I'm not getting my kids any drums, bro. I tell you right now. But
I get that.
but they're gonna, but we're gonna try to get as creative as possible. And what a great outlook on stuff, bro. So we're in a time right now where, Annie, my girl Annie Burnoff from Australia, she just checked in. Hey Annie, good to see you. She said that she likes the motorbike suggestion, and then she said,
depends on where you live.
She told me to get one for my kids. So we'll think about that.
I mean, one thing I'll say, I've personally got a cruiser in a cafe, or, I'm looking at getting a cafe racer soon.
Nice.
For anybody who has motorcycles, you know what that is. But, it's like just, it's a little too congested over here, if I'm being completely honest.
It is.
For my personal taste. But yeah, if you have wide open spaces and, where you probably can't get hit by a car, or at least not as likely, I would definitely suggest it. But
My girl Annie is actually, she's from Australia, but she's right now she was at Azerbaijan, and now she's working down in Cambodia. She's a teacher, so
oh
she
wow,
travels. And yeah, and one of their main mode of transportation there is motorcycle or
is
moped.
motorcycles, mopeds? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
absolutely.
a great way
That's
to
great.
travel. Yeah, yeah. You know, in the right places where the context is more normalized, it's a good, it's good to do. So
Absolutely,
no hating
absolutely.
there. So,
Yeah, for
bro,
sure.
during these times, right? Like this is unprecedented times, if we're honest. There's so many things happening all at the same time. I keep joking, but I'm not joking that next month aliens are going to come and invade, and then Jesus is going to come immediately after that.
Whoa.
So yeah, yeah. So my question to you is: during these time of unsurety, during these times of unrest, pain, brokenness, are you doing anything? Are you involved in any projects to help relieve some of that? What are you doing to speak into that space right now, for you personally in your headspace, but as well as for the public? Are you involved in anything right now that's helping churn goodness back out into the world?
I'm glad you asked. I play it, like I mentioned, I play at a lot of churches, and
Fantastic.
so for me, just recording a lot of services and hopefully somehow spreading joy just through the gifts that God's naturally given me. That's helped a lot. And also being able to do like a podcast such as this with you, it's something that honestly it brings me joy, and I hope it brings other people joy and a little bit of encouragement. And as far as for me, yeah, I've as far as my mindset on all of COVID goes, I've had a really good headspace about it.
Very
I
good.
found it as a great time to kind of like regroup for me personally.
Mm.
I've spiritually gotten stronger. I've got to focus more on myself and my spiritual walk, but also mentally, physically, and spiritually taking care of myself. And through all those things, I've become a much stronger person, and I personally believe a little bit more sober minded too.
Very
Um,
good.
so right now, currently, I'm actually working on my first album, which
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah,
Let's take
yeah.
a pause real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm hanging out with the awesome Cole Marcus, who's been doing a lot of cool projects. You may have seen him most recently, and I Can Only Imagine, this that debuted a little bit ago. And he is now just announcing that he's coming out with his own album project. Cole, let's freeze and talk about that for a little bit, bro. Tell us
Uh,
about this.
all right. Well, I'm not sure how much I want to drop yet because
Sure.
I'm waiting. I'm talking with a few different labels right now, and we're trying to finalize things and make
But you
things
just
as
gave me the CD right here. No, I'm
as
playing. I'm
official.
playing. I'm just playing, y'all.
Man, I was like, "There's a CD." No, but flat out, flat
I'm
out.
ghetto, man. I'll get your CD long before it comes out. No.
Oh, I'll just send you one, man.
Yeah, you're
No,
my man.
but
That's
honestly
funny.
though, as much as I'm willing to talk about right now, I've been working on this project since I was 14.
Wow.
So this has been a long time coming. I do have a band name right now, which I'm not ready to disclose yet.
Cool.
But it will be a band situation. I plan on just being the drummer as well as the music writer for the whole project. But I am above and beyond. One little Easter egg I will give is that I've already mentioned the name numerous times throughout this interview. But
Wow.
yeah. But I look at it. It's based off of a way of living. And literally everything, I'm pouring everything into this. As far as how long it will take to finish it, that's in God's timing. But honestly, I believe we're right on the brink of it, and I can't wait to unleash the music. It's all ready to go.
Wow,
So,
bro. That is
you know,
so exciting, man.
I'm ecstatic. We're trying to take things as professional as possible. So many people, I think, jump the gun where they're like, "Oh, I made this music. Everybody listen to it." It's like, well, hang on one second. It's like you want to make sure that you got something to stand on. You don't want to build your house on the sand here.
Right,
So,
right.
so right now we're currently in the middle of the structure business. But once that's ready to go, then this thing's going to be full steam ahead, and I'll be able to talk fully about it at that point.
Bro, that is fantastic. I want to just drop a quick plug for Cole, by the way. If you're watching along and you love the energy that my man is giving out right now, he also does speaking. So he's been invited to speak at a ton of places. He loves to share the gospel, loves to share the love of Jesus, and just has a real flair about him, So if you want an opportunity to, you see his handle right right there, just underneath him right there. It's Cole Marcus 633. Connect with him. He's also got a fan page on Facebook. I got a fan page too, Cole. All right. It's like,
Oh, flat out.
yeah, like it's me and me, because I'm my own fan. But you actually have fans, so reach out, connect with him, and he'll come out and you do talks and stuff like that, right, bro? You've got it.
I do, yeah, and I've been very thankful for that too. We're in multiple different churches just within the past couple of years, because of I Can Only Imagine, because of other things that I've been able to do. They've had me come out and play with their worship team. I speak a little bit, and we get into the Word of God together, and it's just a really nice iron sharpening, a building experience that we go through, and I personally love doing it. So yeah, feel free to contact me on that.
You just have such a good synergy, bro. Like, you connect with people well. You have accomplished quite a bit for someone who's only 21, and yet you're personable. You like to be around people. You're malleable. You like to learn. You're always in conversation. You were just in a podcast with one of our guys, Matthew Bologno. You guys were doing a workshop this weekend and rocked it out. I listened into that, and I was
Love
like, yeah,
that
man,
guy.
yo, that's good, man. That's business. Hey, let's play another quick game.
Oh, let's go. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
ready? Okay, this game is called Marry One, Date One, Ghost One. Okay?
Ooh,
So
okay.
I'm going to give you 3 choices. You're going to choose which one you want to marry, which is the thing that you want in your life. You're going to choose the one that's going to be a date, which is an occasional in your life, and then the one that you're going to ghost, which means you don't want anything of that to do in your life at all. All right?
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you're going to have to give us just reasons why you chose the things you did. Okay, first one. Here we go. Slippers,
Ghost.
sports apparel, basketball shorts included, tank tops, board shorts, all of those got to go. Or jeans.
All right. Jeans would be a marry.
All right.
Sports clothes is a date, and slippers are a ghost.
You're ghosting the
110%.
slippers immediately.
Ah, yeah, dude.
Tell us why. What is? I feel like there's this pent up anger towards the slippers.
I don't want to feel my feet get a little sweaty before I go to sleep. I'm just being honest, man. Like you get all nice and toasty. For me, it's like I feel like I'm walking around in Sasquatch feet, man. That's just my personal thing.
Hey,
I
man.
get it.
You've just lost all of your Polynesian fans, bro. Let me.
Ah,
No, I'm just playing.
That's all
I'm
right,
just
man.
playing.
That's all right. Yeah, I love them anyways.
All right, cool. Here's the next group here. By the way, if you're watching along, feel free to play and drop us out. We'd like to know which of these you would marry, which you would date, and which you would ghost. Okay, here we go. Good food, good music, or good company?
Oh,
Painful, right?
oh.
Painful.
You know what? I would marry good company. Good music. I would date. I guess good food. I would have to ghost, man.
Oh, man. That means all of your food's going to be bland for the rest of your life, bro.
Dude, Kraft mac and cheese. Let's go.
All right, you're a brave soul.
Geez.
Hey,
Yeah.
but that really speaks to your value system.
Yes.
And that's a great thing to hear, because you're right about this. Good company is
So
it's
important.
invaluable, man.
It's so important.
So
Well, you become who you're surrounded by.
Absolutely.
And and frankly, I look at, even in a marriage standpoint, literally,
Yeah.
down the line, it's like I want to be with somebody who not only tolerates me, but is my best friend and loves and supports me through that. So
Somebody's
that,
right.
so that in itself can be an iron sharpening experience.
Yes.
So yeah, it's definitely the most important thing for me.
Ah, yes. Cheryl drops in there. Iron sharpening company. That's what we're about. This is truth. If you are watching along, you need to know just how important it is that you surround yourself with the kind of community that you are striving to be. Don't surround yourself with people who's going to just be in here for the season and for the good time. We all know how that turned out. If you listen to the story of the prodigal son, you know how this is going to happen.
There it
Don't
is.
go that route, man. Don't be on shifting sand. Get around people who's going to make you better. Somebody say
Right.
amen.
That's- Amen. Amen. Amen.
You want to reach your goals? Surround yourself with people who know how to get to their goals.
That's right.
You want to have a powerful. People always wonder, I don't know about my spiritual life. Well, do you have a spiritual community? Well, I don't have time for it. Well, hello. You want a strong spirit? You want to be a spiritual giant? You got to get
Right.
around spiritual giants. You got to connect with people who want to be in the Word and get connected and have faith. I mean, nobody's perfect, but you got to be around an iron sharpening company, as Cheryl would put it. And as Cole, you've just said, I think that's fantastic, bro.
Amen.
Yo,
Amen.
okay.
Absolutely.
Let's
go.
move
Next
on.
one.
All right, next
Do
one.
it.
Joseph, Moses, Paul.
Oh. All right. Wait, can I have some context in this? I got to play my cards right.
All right. So this is the three individuals. One of these people you can keep as a biblical mentor and a biblical figure in your life permanently. The other one, it's an occasional. Yeah, they're important. I visit their stuff, and the other person no longer exists. So like their portion of the Bible disappears.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
And Moses suddenly disappears, and
Moses is gone.
Everything just goes. Ah,
And we're
no,
all
no,
still in
okay.
Egypt right now.
All right. Paul, Mary,
All right.
Moses, date,
Yep.
Joseph. I'm sorry, man. It's a great story, though.
It's a powerful
It's a
story.
great rags to riches story, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And if we think about it, without Joseph, there wouldn't even be a Moses. So
Yeah.
That's an interesting question, man.
It's a fail question. None of these.
Yeah.
Because they all kind of rely on each other, don't they?
No, I'm liking it though. This is great.
All right.
great.
Okay. The Bible, hymnals, or church corporate worship.
Obvious. Bible. Wait. Church corporate worship.
Yeah.
All right,
Getting together for live corporate worship together.
Yeah. Oh.
Church
Okay.
service.
Okay. I'm gonna repeat myself on this one. Bible's first.
Okay.
Hands down.
Nice.
You can't have anything else without that. I know some people try. Corporate worship second for me, just because it's the most, I mean, although I love my hymnals.
They gotta go.
Hymnals gotta go. Oh, I don't like that.
You just lost your baby boomer fans. You're welcome.
No,
I'm
I
just
know.
ruining your life on here.
Dude, I am a baby boomer. Look at me. Gosh, man. All right, that hurt.
Okay, last one.
All right.
Drums, your vocal cords, your limbs.
What? What? All right. Well, I mean, I'm gonna have to marry my limbs now.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Shoot. All right. Well.
I knew it was gonna come down to this.
Oh gosh.
I knew it was gonna come down to this.
What is wrong with you, man? Oh jeez. Gosh. Well,
I got
okay.
issues.
Well, drums is therapeutic for me, but the vocal cords helps me get like all my ideas out.
Right.
I guess since I have my limbs, I can stick to other stuff to get my frustration out. But I guess I'd have to say I would date my vocal cords and dump my babies.
You said it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are joining us, we are with Cole Marcus, who just let go of his drum abilities. That's phenomenal, bro. Cheryl Marcus says, have a threesome. Keep them all, baby.
Yeah, man. That's if God's willing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Angela Lewis. Hey, Angela, how you doing? Said, Cole, you look and sound great. I love that you're on here. So proud of you. So proud.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Okay. Bro, if you had to do this all over again from scratch, what would you do differently? Knowing what you know now.
Well, it's an interesting question because I mean I was so young for all of it. God honestly was just in control of literally all of it. None of it was really planned. None of this has been planned up to this point. That's why I was even like mentioning the whole band thing. It's like that's not really planned right now. I have an idea and we'll see what God does with that. So, you know what? If anything, if I could redo it again, which I know we always do, I think I would just prepare myself mentally a little bit better and just let myself, I think there are a lot of people who like to get their frustration and something bad happens over here. So they take that and they throw it onto you. And it's like, and I just want to look at that. And it's, if I could redo it again, I would have myself rise above that, never look down on anybody, but look through and see the real hurt.
Wow.
and hopefully have even more maturity than I do right now from the get-go. So if I had to start it all over again, I would have more wisdom if I had a chance.
That's good. That's a good answer, bro. What's your biggest fear, Cole?
Dang. Being separated from God. That's not a PC answer. That's my literally honest to God answer. I would never want to be separated from Him on any level. It's the second that you are separated from the Creator of all matter, suddenly your little insignificant life becomes pointless, and you've got zero direction. That's the way that it's become for me. And I've already been I've always been a Christian, but I've definitely not been the strongest Christian that I am right now at certain times of my life. And looking at those times, just how unstable, how insecure, the amount of it's almost obnoxious at times, And so to look where I'm at right now, that's the one thing that I couldn't live without. It's my biggest fear would ever be. But you know what? I don't even have to fear on that. Because if God is for me, who can be against me?
Come on.
There is no fear in the throne of God, because He has already taken all your battles and He's already won them for you. The next 30 plus years of my life is already set out. It's already in motion. I don't have to do a single thing except follow the will of God and put Him first and have standards. And once I do those things, honestly, I've got nothing to fear. So I don't fear a lot of things, if I'm being honest, but that's the one thing that I probably do fear.
Bro, that's great. I thought you were going to say slippers, really. That's what I thought your answer was. But your answer was pretty good too, I guess.
Yeah. No, for real. I mean, there are a bunch of other answers like spiders and stuff, but I mean, I'm just keeping it real though. Yeah. Honestly, it's the one thing that I have my security in, and I'm very grateful for it too.
Are you ever afraid of failure? Does that ever creep in?
Yes, I'm being brutally honest.
That's so good. I mean, I the same, right? All of us who nobody likes failure. No. Especially when your stuff you put out there is stuff that comes from you, that God has put in you, and when you put it out, there's a desire for affirmation of that God-given ability or that gift.
Absolutely.
Speak to that, bro.
Yeah, well, I mean, for me, it literally does come down to that. I wouldn't say as much as I have fear when I'm in the moment.
Yeah.
As I have fear if I allow myself to think beyond today. That's kind of what I was saying with the Bible scripture earlier. Today's all that you think about. Flat out. Think about today. You can plan ahead for the future as much as you want, but the future will come in its own due time. For me, and I have a schedule, obviously. I plan things in advance, but at the same time, I approach it with open-mindedness to this will change at any point in time. Like the appointment that I have with you to do this podcast could change just like that. Mm-hmm. And I'll have to adapt to that. So,
I was scared that it was gonna just before we got on.
Oh my God, you and me both, dude. I have my iPhone, I have my iPad, I have my computer. I'm just going, trying to get all of it together. But honestly though, there should be no fear in when you have God as your fortress in those situations. And for me, there have been times where especially audition processes. I hate auditions more than anything. If there's one thing that I genuinely, and I don't use this word, hate, it would have to be auditions.
Ooh.
Just going in and having 1 to 5 people judge you. It's like, I don't want anybody to judge me except God.
Right.
Flat out.
Right.
And I think just kind of growing up around that, it's one of those things. It's like you end up, you'll have adults take stuff out on you as a kid. And then, growing up, and then you kind of harness that a little bit. So for me, it's literally been my whole life shaking that off and saying, no, gone with the old stuff, in with the new. Right. Forget about that. I should have no fear because God has already set my plan in motion.
Preach, bro.
Yeah. But
well, we've come out to the end of our time. If you're watching along, thank you so much. This is Tuesday Tea Time. I've been hanging out with the phenomenal, the articulate Cole Marcus, and we've just had a blast chopping it up. Cole, do you have any upcoming projects that people should be looking out for?
It's pronounced Carl, but yeah. I had to get you.
Nice one, Cole.
Well, let's see. Any upcoming projects? Like I mentioned, there's that one big one that I'm really working on right now, and honestly, all of my eggs are in that basket. I'm working my tail off to make my first album happen. And hopefully I'll be able to drop official information on those things soon.
Okay.
But I'm putting literally all my eggs in that basket. I've been writing music like nonstop and just trying to correct things, and collaborating with other wonderful people who have helped me as far as the mixing department goes. And so it's that's where I'm working right now. Other than that, you can stay tuned and up to date with by following me on social media. And you know what? Like I said, every day God has a new plan for me. He has a new plan for you. He has a new plan for everybody who's watching, and we just have to be ready to and prepared for all those things.
There you have it from the mouth of Cole himself. Phenomenal. So look out for his album that'll be dropping. Do you have an estimated time you can throw out for us to tease us a little bit in next year, a year or two?
Well, I mean, as soon as possible. But honestly, I probably said too much. But,
yeah, hey, no more. Listen, this was a teaser for you. Keep following up on him. Check out his stuff so that you know when it's going to actually happen. We'll leave it at that. You've dropped enough Easter eggs for the day. Thanks, Cole. Really appreciate that. And really appreciate all of you guys coming along for this journey. Cole, here at the end, can you give us a final word? Just speak out to some of our young folks out there who might be like rolling along with us or might be catching this a little bit later. What could you share with them about life? Give them fire them up, bro.
I don't know that much. All that I know is seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. All these things will be added to you. Make sure that you are grounded. You have a nice foundation that you are rooted into in Christ, preferably. That helps a little bit. Make sure that you just put on that armor daily. And when people come and persecute you, love them up. Love them through the pain. And eventually that love will come back to you 5 times over. It's literally the idea of sowing seeds. Jesus was a sower. He was one who was sowing seeds. That's half the reason that the Bible is so powerful and impacting to us. Paul, he sowed seeds. Moses, he sowed seeds. Be a seed sower. Make sure that you prepare your harvest for the rain that's coming in, figuratively. God has a plan for you, and you need to be ready and open for whatever he needs you to do, for whatever he needs you to correct back to him, so that you can be prepared for those situations.
Thanks, my bro. That was fantastic. Love seeing you grow into the man you're becoming. God has got some phenomenal plans for you. If you happen to want Cole to come visit your school or your church or your young adult group or your youth group and speak to them, speak with them, and engage, feel free to go ahead and DM Cheryl Marcus, and she'll get you all hooked up, or just reach out to Cole and he'll hook you up, and you guys can talk it up. But he's worth having time for him, man. It's really good. My friends, this has been our Tuesday Tea Time. Thanks for joining us. It has been a great time together with my dude Cole and all the things that he's up to. Keep up with him to know when this album is dropping. And next Tuesday, you get to come back and hang out with me, a pastor, a professor, and a teacher, Dr. Maury Jackson, Pastor Donovan Childs, and our teacher, Alexis Lawrence. And they're going to fill us in on life and the sensitive questions we might have around racial tension and things like that. It's going to be fantastic. Don't miss out. And if you want to catch this, it'll be on our YouTube channel. So go over there, like it, subscribe it, and keep up with us. All right, everybody. Cole, thank you again for rocking the house with us today, bro.
Let's go.
We'll catch
Thanks
up
for
later.
having me.
This was
for
lit.
sure.
And we'll see all of you guys later. See you next week. See you on Tuesday for Tuesday.